All right, folks, JohnnyCast Sports Show number 9. Let's get right into it. We're going to be discussing the Elite Eight. We're going to recap that. We're going to then get into the Final Four, my thoughts on it, my breakdown. Then, lastly, and pretty much the entire episode is going to be baseball, right? So we're going to do opening day, specifically the Yankees, a lot of stuff about the Yankees, and then just some of my overall thoughts and some of the rule changes I felt like didn't need to be there, or maybe I liked, and stuff like that. So, first of all, NCAA tournament, right? Yeah, the Elite Eight last weekend. The last time I'd posted anything regarding the NCAA tournament was after the Sweet 16. So you had 4 games, and to be honest with you, Johnny didn't do a good job. I mean, I went 1-3. And see, this is the issue, though. It really wasn't my fault. And what I mean by that is I picked everything I said. If you look back at the last podcast discussing the tournament, I said what was going to happen. I just bet the other way because I get emotional. And now it's different because I don't actually put money in the line, so I guess I can get emotional. There's no negative thing to it. But so first game, you had FAU K-State. Now, I said it. I mean, you could go back and you could look at the tape. I literally said FAU is going to have a massive, massive advantage with the size, and K-State's going to have a big-time issue, especially because the whole world wanted them to win. And, just because of FAU's size and how well-rounded they are. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, maybe aside from 2 horrible fouls down late in the game for 2 of Kansas State's best players to just foul out of the game when it mattered, FAU just wins that game, and it's a shame. So I go to start the Elite Eight 0-1. And it's a shame to not be able to see Marquise Noel play basketball ever again. I mean, he's probably going to be playing in China somewhere. You can't even watch it after this college season's over. So that's what it is, dude. You're 5'8", and I guess Isaiah Thomas, the newer one, he had some success in the NBA. We know that. I mean, I think he led the league in scoring one year. He was incredible for a while, but I don't see that happening with Noel. He has a really hard time finishing. I mean, even over like 6'3" guards, he can't get a shot up over them, and especially when you're trying to get into the lane, it really limits you. So then in the NBA, they're just going to eat him up. He has no chance to even be in the NBA. So it's a shame. Once in a while, these guys come along and they light the tournament up, and they just like Marshall Henderson was another one who was electric. There's a lot of these guys. And so it's just another moment that is going to go down. He's probably going to be working at State Farm somewhere down the road, and people are going to come in once in a while and just remind him of the better days. But listen, I mean, at least some people have those better days. Some people just don't have. How many people are playing in the Garden, setting NCAA tournament records in the Sweet 16? Not many. So God bless him, and I hope he does well in whatever he does going forward. Now, next game was UConn and the Zags, and again, I got emotional. I picked the Gonzaga Bulldogs, and here's the situation with them. I said it last podcast as well. I can't win with this team. When I bet on them, I lose. They play like shit. And when I bet against them, they pull crazy games out and win. And case in point, I bet on UCLA, or I didn't bet, but I pick UCLA. What happens? They get upset in a brutal one at the end of the game. So Gonzaga wins that game. So they show up. And then against UConn, who has dominated the tournament, let's call it how it is. They're really the most dominant team in this tournament. Not only just left, but from the start. And so UConn just embarrasses them when I take Gonzaga. And I knew they were going to fucking do that, and I didn't fucking say it because I'm an asshole. So you had UConn just trounce Gonzaga, trounce them. Drew Timme in his last game of his career. Goodbye, bud. Keep twirling your mustache into oblivion. It's over for you, buddy. And so that was the Saturday games. Then to get to Sunday, I want to be straight up with you. I know this isn't the best. This isn't the best review here because I'm not coming with the analytics, but San Diego State Creighton, I didn't even watch it because I couldn't, because I had some other obligations that I had to tend to, and I'm not even going to get into the details of that. If you know me very personally, you probably know what I was doing on Sunday, and you probably know how Brutes Magoo it was. I mean, I'm just getting over being sick because of it. So, I mean, just brutal, just horrible. So I missed the San Diego State Creighton game, but San Diego State just scraps out another one. I can't say they're just a boring team to watch. I thought Creighton would be able to just outshoot them and just not outshoot them because they're much better offensively in general. But I thought Creighton's offense would just be able to deal with their defense. Apparently not. Supposedly you get a bad late call in the end of the game. Who knows? Creighton seemed like, because I was watching it I was tracking it on my phone, the box score, Gamecast, whatever you want to call it, and they seemed like they were up the whole game until, again, I checked my phone after the game's over. They lose. So now, if you're keeping track, Johnny is 0-3 to start the Elite Eight, and that's not a good thing. But we finish out strong because Jim Larrañaga and the Miami Canes, baby. Oh my God. I mean, this is unbelievable what they're doing. Every single game, including the opening game of the tournament, which I don't care what you want to say about what Vegas said. Everyone and their mother was saying, oh, I like Drake. Drake's my favorite 12 seed. Oh, I like Drake. Miami had uphill battle after uphill battle. Even in the Drake game, though, they played like shit. Isaiah Wong just didn't show up, and they barely get over it because Drake chokes. And then ever since then, they just power through. I mean, they were even an underdog against Indiana. They show up. They've showed up in every game so far since, and every game they're an underdog. We see this with the Texas game. And Texas gets off to a good start. I mean, they start the game off doing what they've done, which is just playing great defense and chipping away. And then, again, Miami just decides to go on this run. I think Texas was up double digits in the second half. And Miami just storms back. You have the kid who, I mean, just perfect from the field, perfect from the line, historic game, and seals it, signs it, and delivers it. I mean, this is electric. If you're Jim Larrañaga, this is all you got, bud. I mean, you're 73 years old. This is your life's work. And I know you got there with George Mason maybe a decade ago. That's the thing, by the way, more than a decade ago. Jim Larrañaga, only coach in NCAA men's basketball history, who is going to now bring two different Final Four teams there that are not even a 4-seed or better, 5-seed or worse. So, yeah, George Mason back in the day. That was one of the first tournaments I actually recall watching. And then yeah. You have this one as well. So I'm rooting for them big time. Is that going to skew my bet because I bet with my emotions? Or not my bet, my pick, because I play with my emotions now? Probably. But I don't know. I really don't know. So that's my summary of the Elite Eight. Little quickie guy, little John and K, if you know what I'm saying. And then let's get into the Final Four preview because yeah, I mean, there's not much to say here. UConn, the most dominant team in the tournament, not even close. They look electric. I'm getting annoyed with Hurley's bald head. Maybe it's because I'm going bald, so it's kind of like I just see myself in him a little bit, besides being like 6 whatever. But the bottom line is I got Miami because they haven't let me down yet. They've been underdogs like every single game this entire tournament, and it's just electric to watch them. So I got Miami +5. And then you got San Diego State, FAU. I fucking hate San Diego State. I mean, just really. I just can't stand San Diego State. And so I got FAU. FAU could be rolling out the average Joes. It wouldn't matter. I'd be taking FAU. FAU +2.5. And this is what it's going to come down to. I'm an emotional kid, and I'm going with my emotions here. Both picks, emotional. If I was betting with my balls, no one could beat San Diego State's defense, and UConn's the most dominant team in the tournament. You'd think I would be taking both those teams, but no, I'm going the opposite, baby. It's opposite day. I'm gonna have tuna on toast, or what does George say? He says I'm gonna have chicken salad on rye. I hope someone gets this reference here. It's a Seinfeld reference. So that's all I got for the Final Four preview. We're gonna take a break for a second, so I can do a TikTok little rundown clip, and then we're gonna get into some other thoughts on college basketball before we move on to baseball. So just give me a quick second here. All right, just got done with that TikTok clip for my Final Four picks. Now, I wanted to also talk a little bit more about the NCAA before we move to baseball. And we'll start off with Caleb Love transferring out of UNC now, okay? That's just a weird scenario in the first place. Powerhouse team. They were about to win a national championship, and they fizzle out. They don't even make the tournament, right? They were the number 1 team ranked coming into this year. Didn't make the tournament. Wild. He transfers out now. And it's just annoying to me. I mean, I won't be annoyed if he goes to St. John's, which I'm hearing a lot of whispers about. I think Pitino might have a good chance of recruiting him. But this whole new world order with the NCAA is just ruining the spirit of it. And I know the kids want to get paid, and they should get paid. I get that. But, like, it doesn't feel like college anymore. A lot of coaches hate it. I mean, Jay Wright pretty much retired because of it. And yeah, I think Tom Izzo recently is kind of bitching about it after he got eliminated. I mean, it's just depressing me. And because of this, a lot of players aren't even playing in college anymore. They're playing elsewhere. They're playing pro. They're going straight to the G League. I was watching the Elite Eight with some of my friends on last Saturday, and I was getting depressed. I mean, they were telling me, they were telling me stuff I already knew, but like how like all these people, top NBA talents and so forth, they're not playing in the tournament, and it's just brutal. It's like, I don't know. It's just upsetting to me. So I hope Caleb Love, for selfish purposes, goes to St. John's. But besides that, I mean, it's just become kind of a little bit of a circus here. They're all driving Lambos now, and it's all fun and games, which is cool. But everyone's transferring out. All these players and these teams are poaching other players and recruiting and all this crap stuff. It's not college basketball anymore. We'll leave it at that. All right, let's get to baseball now. Let's switch some gears. Yesterday was opening day, and it should have been, and it was, an exciting day. I mean, it's your team's first game. You get a whole day full of baseball. You get to watch some other games and stuff, and it was entertaining. But to be honest with you, the jury's still out. I'm not going to say if I love it or hate it, but I hate it. The pitch clock, dude, it's too quick. I am all for making the game quicker. This is a little too quick. Everyone's striking out. It feels like the pitcher does have an advantage now. The Yankees game, for example, not that they don't always strike out, but still, had like 50 strikeouts in the fucking game. On top of that, you can't even, I bend down to tie my shoe. I miss Anthony Volpe's first at bat. It's just insane, all right? The game's going too quick. I hate a 2-hour and 30-minute game just as much as I hate a 5-hour game, all right? When I'm watching a game, no matter if I'm at the stadium or I'm at home, but especially if it's a Saturday 1 o'clock game, I want to sit down and I want to soak. I want to sit down, I want to have some nice cold beers, some dogs, and watch an afternoon of baseball. Not, I can't even look up or do this or do that or look at my phone for a second or rub my eye or else I'm going to miss an entire at bat. I mean, it was too fast, but again, the jury's still out. Another thing is like there was the most shutouts, the second most ever, I believe, shutouts on opening day ever. Is that going to be a trend where offense is going to be hit? Probably not, because there was a lot of runs scored elsewhere. The teams that weren't shut out, but I don't know. I just feel like I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest with you. So that's that. And then you got another thing that annoyed me after a game is these umpires now, they're like instructed to be more aggressive with the balk calls and these other calls. I'll give you two quick examples. I mean, you have Wandy Peralta yesterday. He gets set. He's in the stretch. He didn't balk. And you got Laz Diaz behind home plate, who shouldn't be even calling this, who's legally blind. I mean, the game was a disaster. He's calling balls 17 feet out of the zone for strikes. He's calling a balk on Wandy Peralta, which was not a small deal. It was a 3-0 ball game, and it was put a runner in scoring position. I mean, come on now. So that annoyed me. You're going to see that a lot this year. And then also in the Mets game, Pete Alonso is taking second on a foul ball. He's coming back to first. He took a little too much time. They give McNeil a strike in the box for not getting back in time. What are we doing here? This isn't baseball. This is not baseball. So I'm all for this nice little, like, we're trying to make the game more modernized. We got to refine it here because this is outlandish. This is ridiculous. I mean, come on now. So that's my opinion on that. And before we get to the Yankees, I got an opinion on one other team because I just recently today watched them play, and they're probably not going to do much because they're in the best division probably in baseball, but boy, are they exciting. It's the Miami Marlins. They are an exciting team. They got a great offense. And I know on paper before the year I kind of knew this, but now, I mean, I actually have it written down here because, I mean, it was so, I didn't want to miss anyone. You got Arise. You got Gene Segura from Philadelphia, who I thought he was like a 50-year-old. He's 33. He's still got a couple good years left in him. Then you got my guy Garrett Cooper, who, I mean, even when he was with the Yanks for like 5 seconds, I always liked to swing. I did. He's got a double swing. He's had a couple good years, and I think this could be a breakout year for him, right? He hit third today. Jazz Chisholm, we know about Jazz. He's very good. And then Soler, this is a guy who hit basically 50 home runs before. He's electric. He basically put a team on his back to win a World Series in 2021. And Yuli Gurriel, who is basically 40, but good veteran guy. Good, I don't even know. It's just fun team. They're wearing nice jerseys. They're in Miami, no income tax, the nice weather, everything's Cubano. It's just very cool. They got an exciting young pitching staff. Sandy is an animal. Okay, then they got a lot of young talent in the rotation. They got Cueto as kind of the veteran, and the jury's out on the bullpen. I mean, it's a fun team. It's a fun team, and I'm gonna enjoy any time I can watch them. I'm gonna enjoy the fuck out of it. I really will. One thing I have to say though is the Marlins are wearing an ADT like sign on their shirt now. We're doing ads now on baseball jerseys. I mean, come on. I thought we were better than this. We're doing ads now. The Yankees obviously aren't, but I don't even know I haven't paid close enough attention. What other teams now are doing ads on their jerseys? It just looks like shit. They got an ADT sign in their sleeve on these beautiful throwbacks. These 2003 throwbacks, they're ruining with a ADT octagon on their side. And come on now, but very exciting. And now let's get to the moment we've all been waiting for, which is my take on the opening day, the first day of the New York Yankees 2023 baseball season. This is my first takeaway from the Yanks opener. Laz Diaz, get rid of him. I mean, fire him. I don't care if the union doesn't let you. Fire him, ship him away, Angel Hernandez can go with him. Ray Charles could have literally called a better game than Las Diaz on the opener. It's a disgrace. If I was watching this game with someone who's like a casual baseball fan who I'm trying to like convince that baseball's a fun and good and worthwhile watch, and every single pitch that's thrown, the box that any of the networks have up, like Yes has up, the strike zone box, every ball or every strike that's in it, the opposite is called. It's an embarrassment. I mean, really, it's an embarrassment. Get Les Diaz away. Fire him. It's done. Angel Hernandez, done. Get them off. I mean, I'm tired of this shit. I'm not even a robot guy. Get the robots in then. The robots are better than these guys. Get them away. So it's just annoying to me. So that was my first takeaway from the game. Too many strikeouts on both sides. Again, I don't know if this is a product of the new pitch count and hitters trying to get ready or whatnot. And the Yankees obviously are a strikeout-prone team. But I don't know. I don't know. Way too many strikeouts. The Giants lineup is shit. I mean, the Giants are rolling out an embarrassment. They just signed Gary Sanchez to a minor league deal. That's when you know that there's an issue with this franchise, when they sign Gary Sanchez to a deal in the minors. This lineup's garbage. I mean, really. I think they signed Mitch Haniger. I didn't see him. Maybe he's hurt. I don't know what's going on, but you have just garbage. And by the way, shout out to Michael Conforto. I know he's also in the middle of the lineup, but my lookalike, my doppelganger, got a base hit yesterday. I hope he has a monster year. He just doesn't look right in San Francisco. I know he's from the West Coast. He's an Oregon kid, but get him. I wish the Mets would have signed him. I really do. And honestly, the Yankees could have used him a little bit, I guess. Lefty, and I don't know. But yeah, hope he has a good year. My next takeaway from this game was Garrett looked like an animal. Garrett is about to have an unbelievable year. If you would have told me back when we got Garrett Cole, because I was an anti-Garrett Cole guy, and I still, until last October, I still was. I just wasn't a fan of him in terms of, like, I didn't think we needed him. We could have used the money better and blah, blah, blah. But he shoves. He's a consistent beast. He's always on the mound. You can just always count on him. I hope I'm not jinxing him. I have wood right here, so I'm knocking on it. And, yeah, I mean, he just looked electric yesterday. Just hitting the corners, upper 90s, just looked electric. The haircut's working for him. He's got the short hair finally. I've been begging for this guy to cut his hair. He was violating the rules, for Christ's sake, the last couple of years. But we got him now with the short hair. He looks great, and I hope I think it's crazy this guy's never won a Cy Young. He's always up in the top 2 or 3 usually, but I think this could be the year. I think he might have an amazing, amazing year. And you piggyback off that, and Judge with the dead center first at bat bomb, unreal. If you follow, you got to follow Jojo Scarlata on TikTok. He does unreal bits, and he did one about after Judge hits the home run. He's a fucking union worker in the deli. After Judge hits the home run, and he's talking to someone on the line. He's going, "You see this fucking Judge guy? He didn't miss a fucking beat. 73, he didn't miss a fucking beat." And then he turns to the right. He turns to the fucking deli counter. He goes, "What's up, boys? I take a fucking eggplant palm and a semolina, a little caponata and potato salad for the kids." And then some other bullshit. He goes like, "These fucking kids are driving me fucking nuts." And it's just so fucking accurate. It's so accurate, and it's so funny. You gotta go. Shout out to fucking Jojo Scarlata. Then you got, I'm looking on the list right now. You got Donaldson. And here's the situation with Josh Donaldson. Baseball's just not your thing anymore, bro. I mean, I'm happy that you made a lot of money in the league. You had some funny moments. You had some good moments. It's over, though, pal. I mean, this guy is looking at strikes right down Broadway. I don't care how bad Les Diaz was yesterday. It's just not a good look, all right? And I know he hits the base hit. I don't care. I also got to hear about Michael Kay gassing up his new leg kick he got in the end of spring. He had a couple home runs. Does that matter to me? What, now we're counting spring home runs now? Higgy had 8 spring home runs 2 years ago. Did that matter? No. So, Joshy Donaldson, you have a lot of money. You can go retire. You can go, I mean, I don't know, maybe guest spot on an episode of Swamp People. There's a lot of things you could do, bud. But baseball just, unfortunately, is looking like it's not one of them. So, Josh Donaldson, there's that. You got Glaber, which is an interesting one, because I've been the number one Glaber shit talker, and for good reason, honestly. I think he's nonchalant. I think he's regressed substantially, whether that's the staff's fault or his fault, his own self, I don't know. But contract year, who knows? Maybe he woke up. He didn't look that good in the World Baseball Classic, but who knows? Great game yesterday, realistically. Just great game. And this is what annoys me. I mean, why can't you play like this all the time, bro? I mean, is it going to be like this because it's a contract year? I would hate that. I would absolutely hate that. And you're plugging up the infield. What I'm saying here is he gets off to a good April and May, ship him away, and maybe you get a great pitcher for him. Who knows? And then that opens up the infield. You can now bench Donaldson. It would be a good thing. So I'm going to hold my breath on that because he did look electric yesterday. I'm not going to kind of say anything, but, I mean, who knows with this contract year. Looking down, I see, I jotted down about, dude, but it kills me, Waldo. Electric spring, and also just, and I know I said spring doesn't matter, but for a young kid it does. And it just upsets me that it's that same pitch that got him last year. It's that inside, it's that ball that cuts in. It doesn't have to be, it's not even a fastball or an off speed. It's just any pitch that's thrown in the inside part of the zone that continues to cut in at his hands, he just swings at. And I'll give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. The last strikeout he had, his fourth strikeout, believe it or not, was a looking K that was not even near the zone. And Laz Diaz, I mean, just doing what he does best. But besides that, yeah, he didn't look too great, and I hope he bounces back tomorrow. I hope he has a good game or whatever, the next game, because he's I think he's a big. I said on the last podcast, I think he's the X factor of this team this year. I really do. So I hope he gets back into it. And then the last player to discuss is Volpe, who I thought he looked pretty good. I mean, it's kind of shocking to me with his size, how he has all these tools, but he does, and he's very timid in the pressers and when he's talking in interviews, but he seemed very comfortable, very patient at the plate. I mean, the first at-bat he had, his first at-bat of his career, I mean, just took what the pitcher gave him. He steals a bag. So I hope he gets a hit sooner rather than later, get the monkey off his back. But we shall see. It's way too early. It's way too early to tell. But I'm excited for him, and I hope this is like the beginning of a good thing. The Giants are just a bad team. So, I mean, I would not be shocked if the Yankees sweep them. But the Yankees situation is really not, I mean, I said this last podcast, I'll say it again. I mean, it's not changing. This team struck out a million times. And I know Webb is a strikeout pitcher, but still, I mean, this team is just a walking strikeout, all right-handed heavy. So we're going to see how we address that. We're going to see how this team can rise up. Hopefully Cashman can make some moves at the deadline that don't get hurt and acquire some left-handed bats and stuff like that. So, again, it's way too early to tell. I enjoyed the first game. Thought it was a little too quick. Cole looked amazing. The bullpen looked pretty good. I was pissed that Wandy get that balk given to him, essentially taking him out of the game. And I hope Waldo has a good second game. That's really all I got to say. So let's sign off. We got again a big NCAA Final Four tomorrow. We also have Yankees' second game of the year tomorrow. We have Clark Schmidt throwing. I don't even know who's throwing for San Francisco. I got to look at it after this podcast. And yeah, Mikey T signing out. Johnny Kith, signing out. By the way, actually, last thing. The Johnny Kith name, it's changing very soon. It's going to be Johnny Action. I think it's going to be John Action. Johnny Action, yeah, Johnny Action. It's going to be Johnny Action. Look out for it. Like, comment, subscribe. Like my fucking Twitter. Follow me on Twitter if you don't. The handle, I think, is going to change because it's Johnny Kith right now, so I'm going to have to change that. Same thing with my TikTok. But, yeah, Mikey T, Johnny Kith, Johnny Action, whatever you want to call me, signing off.